Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and whatever else is watching. My name is Nick, and in this episode of Show and Play I was actually, I'm going to extend the Switchmas a little bit. As you could have seen in my unboxing videos of the Nintendo Switch, I had also bought Bomberman, or better yet Super Bomberman R as it is called. And I thought, well, why not show off these games a little bit as well? Because Super Bomberman R was one of the games that I was actually kind of looking forward to. Because, how do I say this? I have played some Bomberman games in the past. I'm not saying that I'm actually really great at it. As you can just see, I just walked into the how do I say it, I just walked into the enemy, and well, let me put it this way, I'm a little bit clumsy with this game. Still, in the past, when I went to the university and everything, with my friends, I had a lot of fun playing the multiplayer, at least. And yeah, well, I don't know. I thought maybe I could relive a little bit of those feelings. And I have also played. I even still have in my possession Bomberman Hero, Bomberman 64, for both are for the N64, and Bomberman Generations for the GameCube. Especially Bomberman Generations, I played in a lot in the past. The multiplayer was absolute fun and also quite hectic. And this game I thought, hey, why not? Let's give it a chance. Let's try it out.
I did it.
So I got this as one of the games with my Switch. Now that I actually have played it for maybe an hour, I didn't play it too much, but that has mostly to do with another game that pretty much occupies my attention at this moment. So yeah, again, I wasn't really paying attention here. Really, I have so many lives and I waste them like crazy. But then it's not that big of a deal in this game, actually. That's what I figured out. I do know that this game, yeah, it's not really what I thought it was. It was a little bit worse, actually. Well, maybe it is a lot of fun multiplayer wise, but in all honesty, I don't play multiplayer. My friends that I played multiplayer with all the time, well, they moved on. I am actually the only one really left, so yeah. Multiplayer, I think, well, I heard you can play this with 8 games of 8 players. So I think that can be a lot of fun. So if you really can get 8 players and you only have to use a single Joy-Con for a single player. So I think that if you use that, with 8 players, this can be a lot of fun. However, single player, I must agree that it does have its flaws. And mostly it's also a little bit with the controls, unfortunately. I have noticed that with all previous Bomberman, when you moved, you kind of snap to a grid. So, in other words, when when you move from one square to another square, you actually, well, ooh, that was lucky. Well, if you move from one square to another square, then you actually actually landed on that square. It would move all the way towards that square, not just halfway. And I noticed that in this game you can go halfway. So that was just me being dumb, being killed by my own bombs. But I noticed that I quite often end up just halfway on a tile, and then I don't know whether the bomb will be placed in front of me or behind me. So when I think, hey, I am close enough to that one tile to close that enemy in, no, I put the bomb behind me and I close myself in. Either getting hit by the enemy or getting hit by my own bomb. And that is a tad bit troublesome. Also, I kind of noticed that even on the gamepad, the Pro Controller, the directional pad is not that great. I noticed that when I press right, I occasionally also go up or down. So it does not always respond to the direction that I'm pressing. Which is a tad bit sad, because with these games where you can get in quite hectic situations, you do want to get some precise controls. Now a little bit about the game. Single player, I have to say there is a story. And I'm also honestly saying that I kinda like the story. It has a charm to it. It's, even if all those characters are just stereotypes, I do think they are enjoyable stereotypes. I have a laugh with the little sketches that you have in between worlds, at the beginning and the end of the world. Yes, you have worlds. You have several worlds here. I think it were 6 worlds, and each world has 8 levels. And only at the beginning and the end of a world you actually have a little bit of a story part that is actually very simplistic. And by using animated, how do I put this? Animated drawings, actually. And I do think they are quite enjoyable and rather endearing. It's really cool to see that, how they worked with that and all. And that's breaking. However, I do think that, well, they could have put in a little bit more, because at certain points I just was wondering, hey, 8 stages, do we get a little bit of progression? But no, well, it's not completely at the end of each stage. I made a mistake. Okay, if you die, then you can just pay and you can just continue. However, I chose here to continue and try something else. Go to do it again or something, but yeah, I was just trying things out, looking for what can I do? But I do think the stories are quite interesting, how they are told here, and the story is also charming. So I think this is a great opportunity,
the 5th and outermost planet of the Starry Sky solar system, whose surface is now completely mechanized.
Planet Technopolis. Looks like the Bugler army have already turned it into a base.
So are we just going to head straight in?
No, we need to avoid any unnecessary combat.
Yeah, this is how the story is.
Of this planet.
And I have to say, I do really like it.
Hope we can resolve this
just
as peacefully
how
as
they work
possible.
with these stereotypes is just interesting in the story. About the gameplay, however, because that is what Bomberman is all about. I can only tell you a little bit about the single player gameplay. I haven't done any multiplayer, so I don't know whether that is any good or not. Single player, I do have to say that I have played through for a single hour or so. And gone, well, I did all of this, just testing it out, and I got through 2 worlds or something. And towards the, well, I finished the 2 worlds, and I have to say it's getting sometimes a little bit repetitive. I have to say yeah, I'm kinda seeing how well I can kill myself. But as you can see, there is the invincibility time period that you cannot die. So you can actually use that in order to your own advantage, because you can walk through enemies. And that's actually very useful. Especially if you want to get switches or keys that are hidden in some difficult to reach areas because of enemies. But there are actually, yeah, what I can gather is that there are 3 different objectives you have in a certain area. Actually, with the normal area, you either have to blow up all the enemy, press a number of switches, or collect a number of keys. Then I did notice that there were a little bit variations on what kind of obstacles you have in each area in the game.
Technopolis, the 5th and outermost planet
But
of the starry sky solar
yeah,
system, whose surface is now completely mechanized.
It differs.
Planet Technopolis.
Overall, it's kind of repetitive, becomes it. So, my advice is, this game is fun to play. Play it on the easiest setting if you want.
They must be imprisoned somewhere.
The story is enjoyable.
This as peacefully as possible.
The story is fun. But don't play this for 2 long sessions. If you did 1 world, leave it at that and go play something else. Because otherwise you will end up in too much repetition here. You will get bored by the repetition. For the rest, I think this game is fun. Is it worth the price tag of 45 euros? Not entirely. You might want to wait until the budget. Until it becomes a budget title. However, if you are someone who frequently has multiplayer gaming sessions, then probably this game will be worth 45 euros.
Believe in yourself.
Because Bomberman just always is a lot of fun. However, I do. Oh yeah, one more thing. It is called Super Bomberman R. I know there is a game called Super Bomberman, and so I thought the R stood for remake. So that's why I was actually quite lenient. However, recently I learned that R actually stands for Returns or Rangers and has nothing to do with a remake at all. So yeah, with the lack of a remake, I don't really think I could be so lenient. Remakes are quite often based on a lot of nostalgia feeling, but yeah. My verdict: if you don't have many multiplayer sessions, then 45 euros is probably too expensive. And that was a stupid placement of a bomb. However, if you have a lot of multiplayer, I think, because this can also do 8 players, it is a very good, well, you can have a good value for your money. Online multiplayer, I have heard it's in there, but I have not even tried it out. I don't know how the online is. But then again, my online also still has to go through wireless, and my wireless sucks. Wired connections are quite awesome at my in my house, but the wireless connections are really awful. So, well, this is Bomberman. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will come back for the next video in this, well, show and play for the Switchmas. Bye!